fine, but just so you know, I didn't ask for this.
Go ahead, but don't say I didn't warn you. If I see the slightest opportunity, I won't hesitate. I'll kill you.
Prepare yourself, damn Saiyan.
Dragon Ball Deliverance Episode 2 has finally dropped, and I did not realize that it's been an entire year since Episode 1 came out, and I honestly forgot about this animation series, but now it's finally out, Episode 2, and I gotta tell you that this does not resemble Episode 1 at all. Episode 2 is a masterpiece in Dragon Ball fan animation, and I'm not trying to sell it or upsell it by saying that. It is truly something unique. They have taken the style of not only Shintani, but Naotoshi Shida in its fluid combat and vibrant visuals, and have put that into this story so effortlessly that the entire thing seems like a professionally made project. It is breathtaking. I'm not even trying to sell it. It's breathtaking. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm gonna get into spoilers of it, so I'm gonna leave a link in the description below and also the top comment to Dragon Ball Deliverance Episode 2. Make sure you go ahead and find that link, check it out first, and then obviously come back here so you know we can nerd out about it, because this is just so cool. It's just so cool. But here's the one issue that I have with it. I only have one, and it's an extremely little nitpick, and I'm gonna wait till you guys come back from watching Dragon Ball Deliverance Episode 2. Waiting. Alright, you guys are back. One issue that I have is that it really doesn't resemble anything Dragon Ball, and it's only an issue if you are one of those people that want Dragon Ball to resemble Dragon Ball, and for me, that's not a problem. I'm a Dragon Ball fan manga specialist. I've listened, read, and watched several different Dragon Ball stories, so they all have something new to tell, and they're not all the same. Some of them are extremely similar to Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, even the original Dragon Ball, and some of them take the concepts of Dragon Ball and just go nuts with it. And I believe Dragon Ball Deliverance is that second category, because the aliens in this, they don't feel like anything that you would see in Dragon Ball. And not only that, their powers, their abilities, the gruesomeness of some of these fights, they don't seem like Dragon Ball. They seem more like Dragon Ball Multiverse in a certain way, but even just the character designs for some of these villains don't seem like anything from Dragon Ball. They seem more like One Punch Man characters, if anything, but that's the beauty of fan animations, fan stories, is that you can really do whatever the hell you want, but as long as you're telling a compelling story and the animation is good, well, there you go, that's all you need. And I'll be the first one to say it. I reviewed Episode 1 of Dragon Ball Deliverance a year ago, and this is back when I was a lot smaller, but I reviewed it and I thought that it was alright. I thought it was an interesting concept. Basically what happened is that this is a story after Dragon Ball GT. You have these aliens coming to the Z Fighters, at least the ones that are grown up and the ones that are left, asking them for help on planet Namek. They say that Broly is going around killing everybody, basically, and they want Kakarot or Goku to come and save them, but Goku is obviously not there. He's with Shenron, so Vegeta and the gang go to planet Namek, but they are ambushed by the same people that asked for help. And so Vegeta is fighting Broly in this episode, but the rest of the Z Fighters get ambushed by several different characters that are the ones in the cloaks. Episode 1 had one good fight, the one at the end with Gohan versus the main bad guy. I don't know his name, but he sort of looks like Hit crossing over with Slug, sort of. But yeah, that was the best fight. That was where the fluidity of Naotoshi Shida's inspiration, the animation style, that's where it was focused on. And the rest of it was all talking and very stilted, like really stilted. The character models were a little bit off. They didn't seem like they had really perfected how these characters were going to look yet. Yeah, this episode is a complete 180 from episode 1. There has not been a better glow up in Dragon Ball than when Dragon Ball Super got past episode 5, because the first episode, it's not as bad obviously as Dragon Ball Super episode 5, but it's still not that good in animation style, and even the voice acting was a little bit off in my opinion, but the story was interesting and the fight at the end was pretty cool. This is professionally made. Episode 2 is professionally made. Merrick Marimo is one of the artists that I've showcased on this channel. He's on Twitter. He actually helped create this animation, so you can actually tell that there is a lot of focus on character models and just it looking like Shintani mixed with Natoshi Shida. This is so well done. The character models are all spot on. The fights, everything, all the motions are extremely fluid. I am not shocked that this took a year to make, because this is a lot of work. There's 17 minutes here and every piece of animation is beautiful. And a lot of the main characters get a lot of shine. So we have Vegeta at Super Saiyan 3 facing off against Broly at Super Saiyan 3. We don't see much of that fight, but we jump right into, I would say, my favorite part in this, and that is Majub versus one of the bad guys. And I gotta tell you, Majub, which is basically just Majin Buu and Oob mixed together sort of, yeah, this is how Oob needs to be in Dragon Ball. When he comes, these are the movesets. This is the power that he needs to have. He talks to Goku, telling him that he doesn't want to rely on Buu's abilities, and Goku tells him that no, he relied on surpassing and crushing and taming the Uzaru power inside of him. That's how he got stronger. He told Oob that he needs to do the same thing. Oob ends up mastering this ability, the ability of Majin Buu, and now he just has all Majin Buu's powers, and we get to this great shot of what looks like Majin Buu coming out his back, and he can even take pieces off himself and make Majin Buu characters. Like, he is so overpowered, but his animation style, his abilities lend themselves well to that animation style. The Majin Buu abilities are extremely fluid and they just look so good in this episode. This was definitely the highlight of this episode for me. And then we have Pan and Bulla facing off against bad guy number 2. Now, they don't really fight, but yeah, the thickness is on full display, and Bulla has this ability. She turns on this ring, and for a minute there, I thought she was about to fuse with some sort of device with Pan, but the ring actually puts a suit like Tony Stark style on her body, and we don't really see what it does, but they both turn Super Saiyan, and then we cut to... I wouldn't know what this bad guy's name was if I hadn't seen a video drop last night with the music for this episode saying that this is Gotenks versus Gargoyle, and this guy is straight up Gargoyle. He is vicious, and he ends up just kicking the crap out of Gotenks. He takes out one of his eyes. That's what I'm talking about. Like, this shot right here where Gotenks' eye is just coming out of his socket. Yeah, that's not something you normally would see in Dragon Ball. Hell, that might be a little bit too much for Dragon Ball Multiverse, but it still works exceptionally well. But Gotenks does lose to this creature, and I would say out of all designs, this creature reminds me a lot of the bad guy from One Punch Man, the one they were facing off against at the last episode of One Punch Man Season 1. Yeah, he reminds me a lot like that. And the last thing we have here is the ending of the episode, and this is the bad guy. He had killed Gohan in the ending of the last episode, so we cut back to him, and it's like Gohan's power is sort of pushing his limits of what he did with his soul. I guess the guy sucked his soul out of his body, and so you can feel Gohan running through his veins, I guess, and this guy cuts off a finger and makes a Gohan clone because I guess he's got access to Gohan's soul, so he created like a Gohan clone of some type. But yeah, again, not something you normally would see in Dragon Ball, but it definitely works here. It's just so well done. Like, I'm in shock right now at how good this episode was. I normally don't gush like this over fan animations, and that's not saying that they're, you know, bad in any sort of way. I just don't normally get so involved in them heavily or emotionally, and just this one gave me so much that I wanted to see. They gave me Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, gave me Majub, and then it gave me Pan and Bulla in Super Saiyan form, and it gave me Gohan's death, which actually was pretty sad when the guy was just talking to his corpse. It actually kind of resonated a little bit with me that Gohan's dead, because the guy kind of rubbed it in that he was Goku's son, he was supposed to take over for him, and now he's gone. So yeah, again, Notorious Luke, make more. I will wait an entire year for this. I don't care. I'll wait 2 years. I don't give a shit. Make more. I cannot wait for episode 3. If episode 2 looks this good, episode 3 is going to be off the fucking rails. This is going to be Blackscape signing off. Take care, guys.